Welcome back to the All Ball Podcast, where it is all ball all the time. You are here with your hosts, Sean and Isaiah. This is episode number 44, and today we are going to be talking about the NBA Finals between the Warriors and the Celtics and our review of Game 1. But, as we started, as always, Isaiah, how you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling very disappointed. Because the Warriors really fumbled terribly in Game 1. They came out in the first half blazing. Steph had an all-time great first quarter. He kept the momentum going in the second quarter. And it's like he got to the second half and it just all withered away. Like what happened, Steph? What happened?
Yeah, I have to say, even though I'm rooting for the Celtics, it was a major meltdown by the Warriors to even lose a game where Jason Tatum scored 12 points on 3 of 17 shooting.
Exactly. And I think that's the biggest thing about this loss is that they held the best player on the team to an abysmal shooting percentage. Yet they still lost because they just gave away open shots. They played Bucks defense. Without the elite rim protection that the Bucks have. So it just came back to bite them.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that they allowed, Derek White to put up 21, Al Horford to put up leading scorer, Al Horford 26.
Yeah, I think that's the craziest thing about this is that the role players really they stepped up and they were hitting these open threes that the Warriors were just giving away like they could afford to do so, when the only open threes that the Celtics were giving up after the first half were to Draymond Green. So I don't know why the Warriors thought that they could allow that back and forth to happen. Like Al Horford is just trash. It was clear that Marcus Smart was hitting. So yeah. I don't know why they would keep leaving him open after the first two makes. And then the same thing with Derek White. Normally he can't shoot, but clearly he's been on a stretch lately. I guess it's that whole become a dad in the playoffs and you just unlock a new level thing. The trend is continuing. So they shouldn't have been leaving him open after his first couple of makes.
You let Derek White and Marcus Smart hit a combined, 9 for 15 from 3 points behind the 3-point arc?
That is a 60% shooting rate from 3 from Marcus Smart and Derek White.
Quite possibly two of their, obviously other than Robert Williams, we're not expecting Robert Williams to do anything offensively other than catch lobs, but probably the two worst shooters on the team that's actually getting minutes. Shot 9 for 15.
Yeah, and I that's really what makes this unacceptable, because you let Steph hard carry the team in the first half just to squander it by letting these awful shooters have the best shooting games of their career, apparently.
I have to throw a little, I wouldn't say hate, but criticism on Draymond. I don't know if he put on Steph's jersey before the game and thought he got his shooting ability, but shooting 4 threes for Draymond at this point of his career is 4 too many. The fact that he even took 12 shots.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Was I don't necessarily have a problem with the 4 threes because they were all wide open, just given to him. So I guess at that point you at least got to take 2 or 3 of those. Maybe you get lucky and hit one, but apparently he didn't. But my issue lies in the 12 shot attempts total. It's clear, it's always been clear that Draymond's offensive skill set pretty much boils down to being an elite playmaker. Outside of that, you should not be expecting anything on the offensive end from him. And therefore, he should not be expecting anything of himself on that end besides passing the ball. but yet he still got it in his mind to take 12 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Uh,
I don't know about you, but seeing Draymond take the combined shot attempts of Jordan Poole and Otto Porter, that's laughable to me. That's actually embarrassing.
Speaking of Jordan Poole, I got to throw a little bit of blame on him too.
Mm-hmm.
4 turnovers. I wouldn't say confused, but he didn't look like himself because of the way the Celtics were playing defense.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, One of the things I did notice was on the screens. I guess you could say they were dropping the coverage. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how.
If the big doesn't come up to try and cover the guard, then yeah, it's a drop.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. So they would drop the coverage every time, and it looked like he had never seen that in his entire life.
Which doesn't make sense because a lot of teams use drop coverage. For instance, the Bucks use drop coverage.
Yeah,
And
and
more importantly, he's supposed to be a shooter. How are you a shooter and you're not punishing drop coverage? Come on, that's embarrassing.
exactly. He had 4 turnovers and wasn't even in the top 5 of minutes played for the game. I mean, Kevon Looney played more minutes, well, more seconds, I guess you could say. They
Yeah.
both had 25 minutes. Kevon Looney had 15 more seconds in the game, but still, if you're looking at exact times, he wasn't top 5,
Yeah, the
but
fact
still
that
had.
he had the most turnovers and wasn't top 4, top 3, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is just really bad. Like that can't happen again.
How do you feel about Iguodala getting minutes over Kuminga?
I understand it because, the Celtics will definitely take advantage of his youth
Mm-hmm.
and inexperience. So I think given that this is the most important stage for the team, it's probably better to give those minutes to someone as experienced as Finals MVP Andre Iguodala.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a good decision for right now. And until he proves them wrong, I think they should keep throwing him in the lineup there.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was thinking too. I'm guessing the main reason is experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think that is a pretty good reason to have him in. But at the same time, I think that Kaminga's athleticism would help a little bit more against a guy like Wiggins
Mm-hmm.
if he's guarding someone like Wiggins or Thompson.
Wait, what?
What? Well, like, are you
You
saying like
you
why?
said
Why?
no, you said Kuminga's athleticism would help if he's guarding someone like Wiggins or Thompson.
Yeah.
But Kuminga's on the Warriors.
Oh my God! What? I'm looking at the box score right now, and those are the 2 names I saw. I was like, uh, I'm sorry,
Oh
Tatum and
man.
Brown. I was like, what are you talking about, Isaiah? Are you? What's wrong? I was like, what's wrong with him guarding Thompson and Wiggins?
Well, I promise you, if he was guarding Thompson and Wiggins, he would be right back on the bench.
He might have been like guarding Draymond this past game the way Draymond was playing, but yes, I meant Tatum and Brown.
Okay, now that you clarified that, I could see that. But again, at the same time, I think the fact that he's such a young, raw prospect,
Yeah,
like he's still not a fully developed player in any sense. I especially those two guys would be able to take advantage of that, probably get him in foul trouble, get a bunch of easy points at the line. So I think it's better for the time being to just kind of let him sit out.
understandable. So, what do you think the Warriors have to do to take game 2?
I think they just need to play better perimeter defense. You can't keep giving open shots to guys after they start hitting shots. At some point, you have to see, okay, this dude has hit 2 or 3 of the open threes that we've given him. Clearly, our defensive scheme needs to shift to actually cover these non-shooters who are shooting now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't be insane and just keep playing the same coverage and expect them to just start missing out of nowhere.
And I feel like most of this game, it was back and forth. Uh, it felt like one team would throw a punch and the other team would be able to counter pretty well up
Hmm.
until that fourth quarter.
Yeah, the fourth quarter where the Warriors just they forgot how to throw a punch.
Yeah, and the Celtics just kept hitting everything they were shooting.
Yeah, the Celtics were on the speed bag.
They all had takeover. Um, but yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. I think the defense for the Warriors has to be better. Um, but I also think that Jordan Poole, specifically alone because of what we saw, like I was saying, the drop coverage, he
Hmm.
has to punish that at
Oh yeah.
least a lot more than he was doing. He didn't do
Yeah.
it at all.
He needs to punish it. Yeah, he needs to just punish it in the first place. And on top of that, he needs to clean up the turnovers.
Hmm. I think he just needs to be aggressive, like overall, because 7 shots, I don't think is enough from your sixth man.
But you see, I think it's better that he stopped shooting because we could have had a Dion Waiters moment. So I think it's better that he stopped shooting. And I think it would have been even better if because he stopped shooting and clearly he was just having an off night, wasn't passing very well, wasn't playing very good defense, wasn't scoring well. I think that's where you take him out of the game completely and you give his minutes to somebody like maybe Kuminga who could step up on the other end.
Well, I'd rather him have a Dion Waiters moment than Draymond. So
You see,
yeah,
that's a separate issue. That's a separate issue.
that's my point of view from it. That I'd rather him take away Draymond's shots and still miss because, well, I'll not still miss, but like I'd rather him have the shots be taken by him
Hmm.
because I know he has a better chance to make the shot.
And that's fair. But I think it really just boils down to Draymond shouldn't have been taking those shots in the first place. I don't care who it goes to. It just doesn't need to go to Draymond. And that's why I say that it's a separate issue. Because I think if Draymond doesn't take those shots, they probably get dispersed between, Clay, Steph, Wiggins, all of that. Like, I don't think that, Draymond shoots less shots because Jordan Poole just starts shooting more of them. I think it would be more of a dispersed offensive load there instead of
Right.
Draymond thinking that he could play hero ball.
Hmm. So I have to ask, who do you think takes game two?
Mm, I think the Warriors take game 2. The Celtics have really good momentum, but we've always known that the Warriors have a deadly home crowd. I think they're gonna clean up the issues that they had from game 1. They do a really good job of doing that.
Hmm.
So I expect them to look at the mistakes that they made in game 1, clean it up tonight, and take this game. And then from there, we'll see how the Celtics react when the series shifts back to Boston.
I'm going to say Warriors too, but I'm going to say this game's going to be a lot closer than game one. I don't think Tatum's going to have the same shooting problems that he had in game one.
Oh, I definitely don't see that happening again.
Yep. But I don't also expect Horford and Derek White to combine for what, 47?
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Again, don't see that happening either.
right. So, what Derek White and Al Horford won't provide, I think Jason Tatum makes up for it. But at the same
Mhm.
time, I do think that the Warriors will fix those problems that they had in game one.
Exactly.
Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about for this series that really caught your eye?
No, not really. Since it was only one game, not much to go off of.
Hmm. Uh, I don't know. Do you want to give your prediction right now for the whole series?
Okay, I guess we have to because
Okay.
I don't like if we try and do it next episode, it'll be too late. The series will have a lot of momentum in it. It'll
Mm,
probably be game 4 by the next time we record.
yeah.
So yeah, I think I'll have to go out on a limb here, and I want to say that the Warriors take it. I think it's going to be a very close series regardless. And I think that I very well could be wrong. Like, this is not an absolute certain prediction in the slightest. I think it could go either way. It'll be close. But if I had to pick, I'd pick the Warriors.
And Finals MVP.
At that point, it has to. If they give it to anybody else except Steph, then the league's just that's some kind of conspiracy. Because there's no way that anybody else on this team is getting Finals MVP after the way Game 1 went. Yeah, no, there's no way I see anyone else on this team taking a Finals MVP if they win.
They're gonna fool around and give it to Draymond.
Okay. Yeah, give it to 2 for 12 Draymond. Yeah. Give it to 2 for 7 Jordan Poole coming off the bench. Yeah.
Iggy because he got minutes.
2-time MVP Iguodala.
Max Kellerman gonna personally hand him the award.
Oh yeah. They're gonna call him up, they're gonna have him come out from the tunnel like a WWE entrance.
Yeah, exactly. But for myself, I have the Celtics in 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Tatum wins the award. I think it might be Brown because he already had a pretty solid game 1. And I feel like between Tatum and Brown, that Brown might be the more consistent player as of right now.
Okay. I wouldn't say he's necessarily more consistent because both of them are fairly inconsistent. I just think that Tatum's inconsistency, his range of inconsistency is worse in the sense that I think when Tatum has a bad game, his bad games are significantly worse than Jaylen Brown's bad games.
Mm-hmm. I also think it's because Jason Tatum is looked at as that number 1 player on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So his expectations are going to be higher.
Exactly.
Like, that he's held to, as to where if Jaylen Brown doesn't have that great of a game, it's not like a magnified scale, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's not looked at as closely as Tatum having a bad game.
Right.
Now, with that being said, we do have to point out that Jason Tatum had 13 assists in game 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that counts for something.
That does count for something, but he had more misses than assists.
That is very true.
Which is pretty bad. And the fact that he had 13 assists and still had more misses is actually crazy.
Yeah, that's so bad. It's so bad. How do you get 13 assists and still miss more shots?
He had the little cold thing next to him the whole game.
Yeah, he had the snowflake. And it would go away for a play after he got an assist. The little takeover meter builds. And then, another miss. Takeover gone. Well, takeover meter back to empty.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think it'll happen again in game 2. But yeah, I think the Warriors could take game 2. But overall, I have the Celtics winning in 7.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it for us to talk about today. Unless you have anything else to talk about.
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, that's going to be the end of the episode. Go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, drop a comment down below about your predictions for the game and the series. Isaiah, any last comments?
And, don't forget to share the podcast with as many people as you can. And also, if you're here to hear this ending part, just make sure that you stay to the end of every episode.
All right. We will catch you on the next one.